to do here was, there's supposed to be a keeper on the spring part of the hinge. You can't see it in the camera, but holds this. I thought this was goofy, but they're just floppy. Kind of dumb, but it'll work. But the keeper was broke off, so it wouldn't stay. Good old no-more parts. Stuff fits right where it should. To all my body worker friends, sorry. But it'll work. I'm not reinventing the wheel here, I'm just putting everything back the way it was. Same shims. Holes in the same place. Everything. Okay, made some headway tonight. Obviously got the fender sitting back on it. I don't have an antenna to get the hole. I think I'm going to cut this out and patch it so there's just no antenna. And then this bezel has been severely disabled. It is not going to work. And the adjusters for the headlight buckets broke out. These are 50, almost 54 years old. So, no, yeah, almost 54 years old. So they can handle being a little bit wore out and broken. The fender went on good. I beat the bumper out a little bit. It's still dinged in the front here. I couldn't get it all, but I got the big creases out up here, and it doesn't look perfect, but again, for what this car is, it'll be just fine. Everything else is going pretty solid. The new manual steering box will be here probably tomorrow. I ordered a whole floor, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the whole floor out and replace all of it and see what that does for me. The pan and motor mount should be here this week. Maybe next week, probably next week at this point. But we're getting close. The big hang up is going to be the floor. I don't know when that's coming. It's got to come from truck freight. We just ordered it today. I don't know when it's going to get here, and I don't know how to put it in. So we'll learn together. Again, it's metal. It can't be that hard. Basically, it's all spot welded in, so it's not like it's rocket science. The big thing is not to cut your holes too big and get it to fit right. What I'll probably do is sheet metal screw it down into place and then spot weld it after it's in place. Yeah, we're making headway. I would really, really like to have this running and hopefully driving with 8 3/4 and all that stuff in it by the end of March. So I got a month. Well, about 6 weeks. Valentine's Day was yesterday, so today's the 15th. So I got a little over a week left in this month. And then, so maybe 6 weeks. If I can have this car done by then, I'd be super happy. It's doable. I don't think it's going to take much to get the motor set in there. I have everything to make it run. I'm going back and forth whether I should stick a carburetor on the LS or if I should leave it fuel injected. If I leave it fuel injected with the truck manifold, I have everything but a fuel pump and maybe exhaust. I don't know how the exhaust is going to fit around that phone. Anybody that's seen a V8 in one of these A bodies, they have a weird exhaust manifold on that side. The motor sits off-center a little bit this side because of it. Not cheap, they fit a 440 in there, and I think the LS is smaller than that, so maybe I can get a stock manifold to fit in there. If that's the case, then shouldn't have to buy anything else. I'm looking at having maybe the rear pass recorder fixed. You guys saw the rust in it. I don't know that I'm willing to try all that. I don't have the patience for body work. I've never had the patience for finish work, really. If you look at anything I've ever built, they usually look okay, but they're not what I would call a finished quality. They're functional. They're not always pretty. I'm not looking to make this pretty, but I would like it to be not a giant pile of crap driving down the road. So we'll have to figure something out. Like this port, I have to put the bezel on. It's going to look stupid if I don't. I mean, you can see the front bumper is not great, but I don't want to spend $500 on a front bumper to stick on a car that I basically am into for nothing. Right now, including the LS, the Turbo 400, the bell housing, buying the new floor, buying this fender, replacement hood. I'm into this car right at $2,000, including buying the car. I bought two 68s. One of the red one you guys saw in the first start video, one of our first ones. I sold that one and it paid for both of these cars. So this car is free. It owes me nothing. But I had to buy a manual gearbox because I don't want to run power steering. Just a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to try and do it as cheaply as possible and make it look as good as I can. So that's where we're at for now. I'm going to cut some more out of this floor and see if I can get that taken care of, and I'll show you what happens next. Well, after night 2, I've got about obviously I got more to do because I think the floor pin goes clear back here. But I don't think I'm going to cut, I think I'm just going to splice it in down here along that lip. I think that makes more sense to me. And I'll just fully weld it across there with that frame slipper in there. I think that'll be plenty. And then I still got that, but I think that part will come off pretty easy. It's pretty rusty, so yeah. I'm shocked at how well these cars actually are, because there's no floor in it, and it has not moved at all, like none. Beating on it, sawzall cutoff wheel and air chisel, and nothing has moved. The doors open exactly the way they did. I'm shocked. But here we are, day 2. Hopefully the floor gets here quick, as I'd like to see what this... Without the floor in here, it's going to be pretty easy to set the motor and tranny in, though. So, positive sides. But, yeah. There is a giant hole in the floor of my car. Till next time, we will see you soon. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Back in the garage again. Kind of screwed up, but I apologize, because this is going to affect you more than it affected me. You won't be able to see my awesome work. My bad. So we're back on the Valiant, and I actually got some things done off camera, nothing extreme or anything, and then I started and I thought, maybe you guys want to see this. So those that haven't seen the other videos, we are currently doing a 1968 Valiant behind me, and we're sticking my little, see if I can get it in here, 6-liter LS with a turbo 400 inside of it. What we've gotten done so far is I have the floor, excuse me, completely gutted to a point where I need to see, I need to get my new floor here before I can continue on. I think I have to cut some of this out still. I know I have to cut some of this stuff out still. But from basically the front seats all forward is completely done except for where it meets the tunnel. I know it doesn't have to be any, it can't be any wider, so I cut all that out, but I don't know where the new floor will match up there or back there. So I'm gonna wait to cut any more of that. I do know that in here, that spot of rust there, that's gonna have to be replaced. The rusty part of that tunnel is probably gonna have to come off, and about the same on the passenger, on the driver's side. There's a little bit of chunk there that's gonna have to be replaced. I know that one because I can see through it, so for sure. But I don't want to cut anymore or do any more under there with that until I actually have my new floor here. I ordered the whole floor pan. Again, I've never done this floor. I'm not a body guy. I kind of hate body work. But I'm gotten to the point where I kind of want to make it not nice, but like Vice Grip Garage guy said, I want someone to come out from the bingo and look across the way from 45 feet and say, "Is that your rig there? That's sharp." And yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Or some old lady running down the road going, "Ah, it's too loud." Well, we are cut. I just trimmed just a little tiny bit off that. Try and match that a little bit better. Should be able to get me some ears. I'm going to use these style mounts, so I should be able to get some ears and a tube up on that. Should be plenty. I'm going to have to get some help with the motor, but I think in the next couple days we're going to try and fit this in and maybe get some mounts fabbed up. We're close. So yeah, look at that. Super excited. Welcome back to the garage. It's day 4,365,262-ish. So we're back in the garage. We are still working on the Valiant. I've got the motor sitting here flipped upside down. We're going to do the oil pan, and I'm also going to, those who have seen my garage, I've picked up a couple of these. These are like some hand cranes that a local gentleman made back in the day, and apparently I've blown a tire, so I'm going to replace a couple tires and wheels on those and put the oil pan on the Valiant and step on my cutoff wheel, because why not? And then tomorrow I think we're going to set this thing. So stay tuned, keep watching, and we'll take you along for the ride. This is mildly disappointing because I bought this pan specifically for this car. And if I just done a little research, I'd have known that it wouldn't work. Well, my dumbass forgot to hit record. So I just did all this and nothing's on camera. Alright, so what I did was, so this is a GTO pan, this is a truck motor. I found a couple things. The windage tray on the truck motor interfered with the crossover tubes inside the pan, so the pan would not sit down flush. So what I had to do was modify the windage tray just a little bit. I basically kind of like an inch square chunk out of it, and that clearanced that. And then the GTO pan also has a different dipstick tube, so I like the idea of that one better, so I plugged the hole for the truck dipstick and bolted her up, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to stick this in. I got a dirty hands, clean the pan off obviously, but it's ready to stick in there. All I got to do is connect the two, and so hopefully tomorrow we'll connect the two, get them bolted together, and have an LS sitting in a Valiant. Thanks, guys. Okay, we're back, another day. So today we're going to connect this to that, using this to go in there. Should go fairly straightforward. We're just going to set her in today, kind of see where everything sits, what I'm going to have to do. I bought some of these LS to old body style Chevy conversion mounts. I'm using the early style Chevy rubber insulators, bolts. I'm going to use a sleeve, and basically I'm going to build a couple tabs off each one, ideally, to go to the stock K-member. So probably going to time lapse this, or try to see how that turns out, and we'll show you what it looks like going in. Right now I'm going to get her connected and we'll go from there. Back in the garage. Um, so where we're at right now, the motor is sitting in here on blocks of wood and jacks and stuff like that. The floor is removed. I've got the fender replaced. I actually just ordered from a gentleman over on I-5. I got new doors. I've got seats coming, a new windshield, new gauge cluster, a whole bunch of stuff like that that my father has purchased for me. Well, I purchased, he picked it up. So all that stuff is sitting in Roseburg. So we'll make a trip over there in a couple weeks, pick all that stuff up. I'm still waiting on my new floor, so I don't know where I'm at with that yet. Just kind of hanging out on that. But today, we are going to see if we can make this motor sit where it's going to sit and live. So that means both left and right front motor mounts and a transmission mount, and cutting the cross member enough to fit the transmission tail housing up where it needs to be. So that's where I'm going to start today. We'll throw the camera in and show that along the way. That's where we're at. Moving along, progress is being made. I think my goal of driving this by the end of March is certainly feasible. Big thing is the floor. I have no idea where it's at, when it's coming. I bought it through Summit Racing, but it just said shipping at the convenience of the trucking company. That's all it says. So I don't have any tracking information, nothing. I don't know where it's coming from, when it's coming. But the price difference coming from Summit made it worth buying it through them instead of someone else. Trying to do this kind of on a budget. I didn't set a budget, but I would like to get it done for relatively cheap. I don't want to blow a bunch of money on this car. I mean, let's face it, it's probably more desirable than it used to be, but it's not. It's a 68 Valiant. This was Grandma's car. This is what Grandma took to go to pick up groceries, and her and Grandpa would go to church, that type of stuff. This wasn't a high performance machine. It wasn't super desirable. It's got a 5-on-4-inch bolt pattern. It's got little tiny drum brakes, which I have to fix because it's going to move a lot better than the Slant 6 ever did. So, all in due time. But for now, let's get cracking.